Shalom, shalom. Bear with me 1 second. Just want to check the audio. Make sure we clear. Bear with me 1 second. Just want to check the audio. Make sure we clear. Bear with me 1 second. Just want to check the audio. Make sure we clear. All right, we good. So shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Quadash. Double honors to my apostles, the elders at Great Millstone, the men that taught me this truth through the Spirit. Peace and blessings to you, brothers. Peace and blessings to the elect of the house of Israel that's scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. The name of this lesson is going to be, was the first ever Sabbath based off the new moon, Genesis 2 and 2. And this is in response to this comment here that was posted on Apostle John's page. Shalom was the first Shabbat, Genesis 2 and 2, based off the new moon, the water. Now, Apostle Tahar, he responded to this on his page. GMS declare the end. Go like and subscribe and be fed through the Spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. The name of the video was The Complete Understanding of the Scriptures, Installment 1. Okay, that was the name of the video. He answered the question and gave a brief summary. I'm just here to put a couple of extra precepts to give a couple of extra precepts to give complete understanding of what the Apostle Tahar gave a sum up to. So go into Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. Hold on real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, Genesis chapter 2, verse 2. It says, and on the seventh day, the powers ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. Now, the question once again was the first Shabbat based on the new moon, the water. So this was the first Shabbat, right? When you look up this word, seventh, it goes to the Hebrew word Shabbat. Shabbat, ya, tha, ya. Shabbat, ya, tha, ya. Shabbat, ya. Right? Which means 7. So is this talking about 7 days? Right? Is this talking about 6 days you work and the 7th day you shall rest? That man was supposed to keep? Or is this talking about the 6 days? 6 days that the Lord, the powers created the heavens and the earth. It's a difference. And we're going to prove that, right? So it says on the 7th day, the powers, because this word here is not God, it's Alahayim. Alahayim, Alahayama, right? When the Ya and the Ma is at the end of a word, it makes it plural. So this is more than one God, though in English, you just see the word God. So the powers, or the Alahayim, blessed the 7th day, and the Alahayim, I know I'm summing things up because I'm just trying to hit the point of, was the first new moon, or the first Sabbath, the new moon Sabbath, right? So the powers is Yahweh Shah and the angels, right? Blessed the 7th day. Now let's see what that day was. Going to 2 Peter's chapter 3, verse 5. It says, for this they were willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of the powers the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water, whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perish, which represents the flood, right? But it says, but the heavens and the earth, which are now by the same word, are kept in store, reserved unto fire against the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men. This is a future prophecy that's yet to come. But here's the point. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as one day. Let's look that up in another translation. But you must not forget this one thing, dear friends. A day is like 1,000 years to the Lord, and 1,000 years is like one day. So when you read Genesis chapter 2, verse 2, and it says, as one, forgive me, Genesis 2, verse 2, and the seventh day, according to 2 Peter 3 and 8, this represents 1,000 years. A day represents 1,000 years to man. So it says on the seventh day, meaning the 7,000th year, ended his work, ended the power's work, which he hath made. And he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he hath made. So now the question becomes, when did the new moon Sabbath come into play? Or the new moon dictate the Sabbath? First and foremost, you have to get the understanding what is time based off of, right? Time, the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole. A point of time as measured in hours and minutes past midnight or noon. It says Germanic Old English time out, meaning tide, right? And what's tide go back to? Tide goes back to the tide of the waters. It says the alternate rising and falling of the sea, usually twice in each lunar day at the particular place due to the attraction of the moon and the sun. So tide ties back to time, and time um all relates to the moon and the sun, right? So we dictate time, right, based off the origin word tide, and tide is controlled by the moon and the sun, right? So Genesis 2 and 2, let's get to the point. Genesis chapter 1, verse 14, it says, and the powers and the Elohim said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So now we learn from the scriptures that the light, that's the divided light, the light that's in the day, which is the sun, and the light that's in the night, which is the moon, they are for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So this is how you tell time, based off of what? The sun and the moon, right? And let them be for the lights in the firmament of the heaven. It says, and to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made also the stars, and the powers set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And the powers saw that it was good. In the evening, in the morning, with the fourth day. So on the 4,000th year, the powers made the sun and the moon in time, right? Well, not, and make time on the 4,000th year. The sun and the moon was to dictate what time was, because time was already in existence, going back to Genesis 1 and 1. He created the earth and the heavens. And it says, I'm going down. In the evening, where's it at? In the evening, in the morning were the first day. So time was already in existence, according to Genesis 1 and 1. But how we told time, you come down to verse 14. This is how man was able to tell time. Now let's get the precept on that real quick. This was the backup. First Peter, Second Peter 3 and 8. It says Psalms 90 and 4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are as but yesterday, when it is past, and as a watch in the night. So 1,000 years to the Lord is just yesterday. It's just one day, right? 1,000 years to man is just one day to the Lord, right? So this is the book of Sirach, also known as Ecclesiasticus, that's found in the Apocrypha, chapter 43, verse 6. It says, he made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. So go into Exodus chapter 20, verse 11, verse 8. It says, remember the Sabbath day, remember the seventh day, right? To keep it holy. 6 days thou 6 days shalt thou labor, 6 man days, not 6 powers days or Alahayim days, but 6 human days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day, the seventh human day, is the Sabbath of Yahweh, thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy maidservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy manservant. It says, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days, 6,000 days, 6,000 years, the Lord made the heavens and the earth. So these are God, the powers days, Alahayim days. These are not human days. But our Sabbath is an analogy to the Lord's Sabbath, right? For in 6 days, 6,000 years, the Lord, when you see Lord in all caps, that's Yahweh, made the heaven and the earth and the sea and all that is in them is, and rested on the 7,000th year. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. So we are supposed to bless the Sabbath day, our seventh day, our rest day, and hallow it. Hallow meaning to make it holy. Quadash, consecrate, sanctify. Let's just look up this word real quick. Make, declare something typically a church. Dedicate formally. Set apart or declare holy. So our seventh day is supposed to be a holy day, right? You're not supposed to make yourself unclean. You're supposed to do spiritual things, right? Um, Going back to the point, was the first Sabbath based on the new moon, the water? And the answer to that is no, because human time is different from the Lord's time. Ecclesiasticus chapter 43 verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her seasons for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name. So the word month derives from the word moon. So this is how we tell time, based off the moon. That's why people that sit there and say that the Sabbath is Friday sundown, the Sabbath Saturday sundown, it's incorrect, because the moon is constantly changing. The days of the week is constantly changing. It never stays the same. So your Sabbath can never stay the same, because we based our time off the moon. So it says the moon is called after her name. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven, the beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, and the ornament giving light in the highest place of the Lord. Pretty much that's it. This was a short lesson. This is for the new people that might not know. This is not for you vets, you know. But I pray and hope that y'all was edified. I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Wahar, Rakakwadash. Until next time, I say Shalom.